It's getting really depressing. As time goes on, more and more people are born into this world not knowing about how Top Gear revolutionized, like, just the car culture as a whole. You know how you like cars now and there's like a plethora of media out there for it? That's pretty much all thanks to Top Gear. It was garbage before then. There's only one time that I wasn't particularly happy with them. They did a drag race between our most powerful V8 unit at the time, and then they put it up against, well, a transit van with a Jaguar XJ220 engine in it. This was absolutely stupid. Filthy cheaters. But I have always loved it. The Jaguar XJ220 is probably one of my all-time favorite cars, even if it's not good. So, that's my goal for today. I want to try to make something like that and stick it in the D series. Wait, is it the D series? No, it's the H series. This isn't going to be quite so simple though. By default, this thing comes with a V8 and the only other option is an inline 6. So I've lined up a bunch of V6 offerings that BeamNG has. Now, this is only a 2.7 liter, so it's like 0.8 of a liter off of what it needs to be, but it's the closest. The other ones are things like this. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure this is a push rod, so not going to be particularly great. Also, 3.3 liters or 3.8, so it doesn't really fit. Then there's this one, the only 3.5 liter V6 in here, except it's quite new, so the tech also means that it's going to have better power delivery. Though, it does come with its own twin turbos. Unfortunately, said twin turbos do generate just a smidgen too much power for it. You may be asking something about why not this car? Well, that's exactly the same engine as the Bruckle Legrand. So that's out of the question. You may be wondering why I have the Bollide though. Well, this has the 3.5 liter V8 and it generates a similar amount of power as the actual Jaguar XJ220. So, what am I thinking I'm gonna do? Well, all the way over here, I'm thinking this engine is newer, so it's probably gonna be a little bit better at generating power. I'm gonna use this engine as a base, but take the turbos off of this thing to give it the amount of power that it needs. Oops. Now, for some of you that have been here for a while, you may know I've already done a mid-engine van. So it's not going to be the hardest thing. We got the transaxle in here. I think we've got this. Unlike this one, however, this has a solid rear axle, so life is going to be a little bit difficult. And you're also really loud, so I'm gonna turn you off. There. I think my best bet is to rip the rear axle out and add in a transaxle. So we're gonna go the transaxle. Since it's meant to be like a supercar anyway, it would be basically this. All we're gonna take is the turbos, the transaxle, the rear suspension, basically in its entirety, and I think that will be all we need. All right, let's start hacking and slashing. Before we go ahead and start hacking and slashing though, we gotta put down a baseline. Come on, nope, okay. So that is the most powerful vehicle in this lineup. I thought I would see how the slowest and the fastest compare against each other. This one, oh my God. Okay, well, thanks Thrustmaster stupid ass controller with frickin' stick drift. Let's try for that time again with a clean run. Okay, a 17.8, and this is a 14.5, so, you know, I think we can do better than that. Especially considering that the new version should have more power than the other one as well. So, I've brought the van to my workshop, well, proverbially my workshop, and we're gonna start doing the hacking and slashing. In this drag race, they had a R8 Maloo. Unfortunately, I could only find the quarter mile for the sedan, and that's about a 13-second. A Jaguar XJ220, on the other hand, does it in 11.7. So, I'm gonna aim between the two, but first I've gotta figure out which parts I do and don't need. There's a lot of gubbins in here. Goodbye, seats. Don't need you. Here's my next problem. We have van, body, floor, step, both. So if we hide that, oh, there's still another one there. Van, body, floor, step R. So we'll hide that one. Nope, there's another one there. And van, body, floor. Which one do I choose? This is gonna take some investigation, isn't it? Which one highlights the floor? Looks like none of them do. Huh? Then that must mean that it's dictated by the body itself. What do we got? Oh, okay, that's side steps on both sides. And if we're going with just a default one, oh, this doesn't even have steps. Okay, that's fine. Well, we don't need that one. Step R. Okay, what are you doing, step R? I'm going to hell. Whatever, let's delete it. Now we got like different types of glass. I'm so confused. This has no glass. And this is the version we're going with. This should be about everything we need. You know what, actually? We don't even need the side panels. All we're probably gonna need is just this panel, and we'll change them up. We also have all the chassis. Oh God. We can get rid of anything with EXT on it. This one is heavy? Can we delete just the heavy stuff? Doesn't look like it. All right, we'll just get rid of that one then. God, there's a lot to take into consideration here. The rest of this can go away, and instead we'll import everything from the bollard. Can I just select everything up here and it won't delete the rear? Good. How about fenders and stuff? Will they be good? Yes. Oh, I'm gonna have to separate the suspension types. Wait, what are the difference? Race? Okay, yeah, we can get rid of race, because I'm just going with normal stuff to start with. Why is there different types of manifolds. That is one we don't need. Goodbye. This manifold, on the other hand, even though we're not using this engine, I'm thinking we might keep this manifold. Even if this is the base engine we're going to be using, that manifold is nothing like the real manifold. Now, this one also doesn't cross, whereas this one on the bolide does. Beggars can't be choosers. Paste you in here, rotate 90 degrees, and let's start mating it up. Wow. Is this engine bigger? That's wild. Engine block can go away. Exhaust manifolds can go away. Oh, those manifolds are gonna have to change. It does still look like though the turbos are high mounted. So I'll just modify these. I think we could just knock one pipe off and we should be good. Can I do that? Can I just go L? Yes, I can. Delete. Now it's a V6 manifold. Perfect. I mean, we're gonna have to line it up a little bit, but that means we can get rid of these pipes as well. Let's tuck her in. Yeah, that is definitely a taller engine. Oh well, it'll be right. Does it even, you know what? These pipes don't quite fit. They're close, but yet not quite there. This manifold, that's gonna have to be modified too. Wait, oh, can I do the same trick? I think I can. Yes! Okay, life's a lot simpler. Well, that should be all we need to do. I've got all the exhaust lined up. I've got the intake close enough. We've even rewired some of the stuff here. Hopefully, people won't be looking too closely at the ignition wires. If they are, well, then they're getting something different out of this than I am. Well, let's grab you, copy, and paste. That's very close to being lined up. Luckily, we can move it all as one part. Let's hope that it's also the right width. Oh, good. It is looking the right width almost. It is gonna have to be a little bit wider though. We'll just go with like a large offset wheel maybe. Frick, this is, that's actually bugging me now. Let's go with a bollard again. And no, okay, the race and normal stuff are the same width, so there wasn't actually a wider option. Well, okay, now we start cutting, boys. This almost lines up. I wonder, if I go and put it like there, then the suspension's gonna be too high, isn't it? That sucks. Well, I suppose let's try to drop it down so it'll just be in line with the bottom of the rail. Yeah, there's gonna have to be a lot of change here. Potentially what we could do is just cut the chassis rail there, have it meet up with the new chassis, then have the chassis back here attached to this. And I think that's what we're gonna do, even if it's gonna be like incredibly unperfect. Figuring out where to cut the body though gets a little bit trickier. Oh, I hate this. I hate this so much. I always forget how much work that this stage entails. For now, we can get rid of you, and that does open up a fair chunk. Then on the underside, there's a bunch there we can delete. That does actually line up pretty darn close. Wow, actually, you know what? That's very little work I've had to do so far. We'll have to fill in the gaps, but that's looking pretty good. Oh, no, Yep, that suspension. Delete vertices. I wonder, can I just go U to U and then scale to 0? Oh, I can. Well, that's working splendidly. I'm starting to also realize that these intercoolers, yeah, they're gonna have to be completely moved. That is just not a good place. And the pipes, sure, they exist. Now it's time to move on to the J-beam. Right after I delete those. There we go. Now it's time to move on to the J-beam. We'll start by grabbing some bolide stuff, and eventually we will move on to the med sites, but bolide first. We now have a choice of turbos, so which one are we going with? This one is 535 horsepower, which is very close, and a little over on the torque, so I think the Stage 2 twin turbocharger is the one to use. So twin turbocharge? No good. Stage 2? Perfect. Stage 3 can go away. And that's all she wrote. Okay, moving on to the next part. Main engine torque. This is going to be changed with the stuff from the other car, which is where midsize comes into play. We don't really need to bring over much. The only thing that we're really doing is like all of the technical details. Basically everything under main engine, including sound config, vehicle controller, probably yes. Flex body, props, yes. Nodes, yes. Beans, yes. That's all she wrote. So I am taking a little bit more than what I thought, so let's be careful here. We'll call this like a 3.5 V6 as well. And we're gonna grab a regular frame. We're gonna change some of the flex bodies around. For instance, the frame itself will have its name changed, and then we're gonna have a rear subframe. So we created a new line here, grab the name of our subframe, put the names in, grab this core slot true, and put that in, so then it'll just always automatically be a part. Okay, that's looking pretty good for now. Wait, it's already got the frame in? That's confusing. Oh, wait, I didn't change the name of this. There we go. Now we got the standard frame, now we got the X217. Perfect. Okay, well, I wasn't expecting things to work perfectly. Suspension rear. Where the hell are you? There we go. Goodbye. Now, hopefully that'll be a little bit nicer. Good. Rear subframe. Engine is set to empty. There we go, 3.5 feet. Alright, back to the frame. We don't need two engines. Alright, let's refresh. Unpause. Close. Okay, the brakes are a little bit wacko, but it's together. Oh god, kind of, sorta. I think importing the J-beam and doing this bit by bit will help us with our transaxle differential engine everything problem. Let's start with the engine, because that is the big one. Could you, thank you. I've also just realized something. The engine mounts are all a little bit weird, so let's rotate you 90 degrees, then try to set you in the middle, then we'll try to line it up to the engine itself. It's a little bit hard to see, but I could see it. Okay, good. Let's move you into place then. A little bit more. Okay. Is that good? I think it's good. This is really hard to tell. Now we select everything else except the engine and eyeball it into place. Near enough, as I say, always good enough. I actually have no idea how this is actually meant to line up. Oh, this is atrocious. We got some intercooler nodes, those can move. We'll bring those up to where the actual intercooler is now. Though, you know what? That's probably gonna cause issues because they're probably gonna be all bouncy and stuff. Whatever. Okay, let's go through one by one and export everything. Yeah, this is fun times. I wonder if that's enough to make it... I was about to say better. Clearly not. So what we're dealing with now is it not being attached properly to the subframe. It's a bit hard to tell. Let's do some comparisons. The one that's moving a lot at the moment is RX1R. So have a look in the van, RX1R, and it does show up in the frame and also on the suspension one. So we can go into the frame and have a look, RX1R. It is helping us attach So there is something to be said for that. I think maybe instead what we'll want to do is reduce the beam spring amount. Refresh, unpause. Things are looking a little bit more stable now. Ooh, our S1R, our X2R. But things are holding in place. Now we got the... Oh. Now that we've created our own custom thing as well, we can grab this and make sure that it is the only one called. That way, we don't accidentally end up with the wrong body on. Control R, what do we got? Noise. Oh, it's working this time? Sure. Let's import the J-beam. And is it going to be bad if we get rid of some of these things? You know what? We can at least get rid of some of the triangles. So any of the triangles from B4 to B7 and B7 to B9. Oh, the lengths I go to. Otherwise, this would cause internal collisions that you don't want. So, quick little refresh and very close. As for the fuel tank, we're gonna have to use a fuel cell. Something which I have used many a times, and then the mesh is starting to break apart. Just don't look at it closely. She'll be right, mate. Remember that mid-engine minivan? Well, that has a fuel cell in there that I would like. Move it into place, somewhere around there should be good. Make sure that my fuel tank gets cooled properly. Then put in the fuel cell. Now, unpause. I mean, almost works. We'll fix that out later. Let's get this turbo system in. Okay, we're short on power and short on Newton meters, but we'll fiddle with those values. Actually, let's have a look at the stage 3 turbo system. Much closer. Now I suppose let's get the engine nodes attached a little bit better. That's gotta be the engine mounts not attaching to the frame for some reason. Oh, hold on, let me guess. I'm an idiot, by the way. Engine mounts. Now when I refresh, god damn it. No, the engine mounts are actually there. Let's go with the stock engine mounts. Good. We still get a little bit of a clunk, but things are coming along much nicer now. How's it drive? Like a car. What is oh, that's probably the fuel cell, isn't it? All right. More work to do. I'm thinking one of the things we want to do is probably put on some different wheels. These ones end up with 15 by 10s. So let's go 15 by 10s. Elder dragger wheels, since we are going to be going in a straight line, not too concerned with that. The suspension is very soft though. That might have something to do with the fact that it has no coilovers in. So let's go sport coilovers. Nah, it's not as high as the front. Maybe I could drop the front. Go something like a sport front coilover. Nah, we need it to be lower than that. Race front coilovers. Well, that hasn't dropped us down enough. Spring height in the front. Down 8 centimeters. Okay, you know what? That's getting close. Now I suppose the only last thing to do is to make sure all of these nodes are attached, because at the moment, there's a lot of shaking. A lot of shaking.
2 hours later.
I want to leave, but this is in the way, so there we go. How does she drive? There's lots and lots of turbo lag. And then it comes on. Oh, I've blown up the engine. Okay, long block is getting changed up to ultra heavy duty. Wait, if we needed a little bit more power, what about a stage 1 performance long block? Okay, that's still not enough. We're quite shy. At least the RPM amounts are a little bit close, so that's happy. And as for the turbo lag, oh boy, the turbo lag of this thing.
50 miles an hour, foot hard down, 51. 51 still, and here come the turbos. 76, 94, 123, 168, 174. Now that's what I call turbo lag.
I have always wanted to replicate that scene. I love the Jaguar XJ220. Jeremy Clarkson is a freaking cool guy most of the time when he's not punching producers and saying outlandish things, but I want to see if I can do that too. So I'm gonna have to be in control of the gearbox myself. We're gonna... Wait, is the engine dying already? Max RPM. let's increase that a little bit. Max torque rating, let's go like 3 times stronger, because I feel as if they expected it to have good internals to start with, but we copied all that information, remember, from the mid-size engine, sorry. Okay, let's get this going. It looks like it's much stronger now. Oh, we do have to fix those brakes though. Wait, no, 51 miles an hour. What's that? That's 82 kilometers an hour. So we've overshot a little bit. Let's get it into top gear, and here, and get it even. Hold on. Power on, whatever, we can just do it from now. 2, 3, 4, 5, you know what, actually, hold on. Okay, now we're at the point. 2, 3, 84 kilometers an hour. 86, a little bit of downhill now. That'll help. 90, okay, the turbo lag is a bit much. Let's bring out a torque out. Yeah, we're right before the boost comes in, so this is going to be quite slow. I feel that I've given myself a bit of a handicap because this vehicle is also a little bit heavier. Come on, power. This is a lot of turbo lag. I may need to retry this because this seems a little bit unfair. Just saying. Okay, let's launch from 3rd gear this time. Get it to 82 and away we go. Nope, that's too fast. All right, let's go with 4th gear. 82 kilometers an hour and full power. Little bit of speed. Getting there. Oh, this is taking a really long time. There we go. And you know what? This is fairly underwhelming. I'll never be able to recreate the Jeremy Clarkson thing. He's probably lying now that I think about it. You know, it's not as if he's been caught in a lie a few times. Oh, this does get a little bit back heavy as well. Okay, handle. Oh! Hey, since it doesn't have the front engine in the front, it survived. So I can still drive. I broke a drive shaft. Now, I'm gonna have to be incredibly dexterous for this, but we'll give it a try. Oh no, I was in 2nd gear. Bugger. This time, I'm gonna launch properly. 1st gear. A lot of clutch riding. Oh, I am beating the pants off this dude. That was the wrong button to, oh god. I don't have those keybinds set. But, oh my god, suck it. We're hoping 11... That's exactly where we were hoping it to be. It's faster than the R8, but not as fast as the Jaguar XJ220. This is perfectly right on spot. This is cool. There's actually, I think, somebody else that might be a little bit excited to try this out as well. So, give me a little bit of time. I'm gonna go show them. Hello, Grog. How's it going, bro?
Hello.
You know how you're from England and Top Gear does a lot of cheating?
Yes.
Yeah, that's just native to British people, isn't it?
Yes.
Filthy cheats. Well, do you remember very specifically a race between a ute and a van?
I vaguely remember, yes.
Alright, let me know when you see my vehicle.
I see the van.
Well, I have recreated said van with a Jaguar XJ220 type engine.
Oh no.
Now you may be wondering why it's 217 and not 220. Well, that's the actual top speed of the Jaguar XJ220, not 220. You know, more of those cheating and lies that the Brits like to do.
Van acquired.
Van acquired. What shit? Wow. Rude much?
It is quick.
For a van, it's quite quick, yes.
Has it only got slicks on the back? Yeah, it does.
Well, yeah, it's a drag car.
Oh, yes. Probably not built for track use then.
I'm pretty sure when the person took a Jaguar XJ220, put the engine in a van, he wasn't thinking track usage. Nah. And this is actually not the first time I've tried to do this. I tried to do it with an automation minivan once, but it just never felt quite as cool as what it could have been. So I worked with a lot more established parameters. So this has the engine block out of a what's the late 90s Pessima, and then I put the bolide intake on it, modified that and the exhaust, got their nice laggy turbos, and put it on said V6.
There's a lot of understate.
I mean, you might want to put
completely
slightly
missed
better
the
tires in
problem.
the front. Or brake earlier. Well, the last thing to do is to take it for a race around Lasagna Seca. You know what, actually, a lot of people won't get that joke. I'm meaning Laguna Seca. I'm weird. I like to call it Lasagna Seca. I put some tires on. They are absolutely minuscule, but they seem to be very grippy slicks, so we'll give them a try. Oh boy. So, one of the things that race car drivers will say is being really far back in the vehicle, so then you're closer to the rear axle will give you lots of feel for the vehicle. I am very far forward, so I'm not getting a lot of feel for this vehicle at all. But you know what? This isn't actually handling as bad as one might think. Oh, it's not a great vehicle, gonna be honest. But with these really fantastic tires and race suspension all round, this is handling pretty good. Okay, and around we go. Once this thing starts to go sideways, it just keeps going sideways. Okay, first gear, and away we go. This thing really does take a lot to get going. The RPM gauge only goes up to 6,000 RPM. I might have to make a modified version of that. Brake, turn in. Keep those revs nice and high. I wish I knew what RPM I was at. Damn it! Around we go. I think this time I'm gonna use paddle shifters and use an automatic clutch. Now I know that that's not really realistic for a vehicle like this, but I think it's kind of necessary. Wait, do I have a? You know, I'm gonna do one last thing. I'm gonna go into UI apps and turn off this thing to hide it. Okay. There we go. All right. Let's go again. This time I know what RPM I'm doing. I was missing on like 1,500 RPMs worth of power. So that was not a great move on my behalf. Here we go. Okay, first corner. Both hands on the wheel. Braking, turning in. Second gear. Wowzers! Okay, that is a tail-happy truck. Van, damn it. This time, doing much better. Gonna ease it on. Don't want to spin out. When it comes on power, it really freaking comes on power. You know what? I also have drag racing tires on, not racing slicks. So they're cornering not great. Oh, like that. It gets nice and sideways. All right. First checkpoint. Going into a braking nice and early because we're in a van. Not expecting great stopping distances from this beast. It's also surprising how just like the tires changing transforms this into what actually feels like a pretty good car. I think like better fitting rear tires that aren't meant for straight line driving might also do us quite a good bit. I'm also much slower than what I expect. The front brakes are fading. I don't think I put race brakes on the front, so that will be a problem. Oh, the drift there. That probably looks really epic from outside. No, I've gone around. Bugger. Oh. Okay, much better around there that time. Penultimate corner. Oh, massive slip angle. We'll call that proper racing, I suppose. The more the front brakes fade, the more the rear brakes take over and cause oversteer on entry as well, and like any sort of weight transition. Okay, well, that is a 2:01. Not the worst time in the world, but certainly not a blistering lap time. Wow. I mean, even though it's a van, this thing is faster than my Toyota 86 around Lasagna Seca. How insulting! Also, expected, because that car is slow as shit. But it is down the lower end of the graph, so I mean, it makes sense that it's not the fastest. But I don't know. It's an enigma. This thing is just freaking weird. You think it's slow, it feels slow, but as a matter of fact, it's actually not slow. Well, I mean, it's turned out how you'd probably expect a van that has a giant 550 horsepower engine in the back with drag slicks on going around a race. It's not a brilliant machine, but I mean, just look at it and just know that in the back there's a great honking V6 just absolutely waiting to obliterate you straight into a wall the moment you look at it funny and you don't give it the respect that it really deserves. For now, though, I would like to thank my channel members, and that specifically includes the Rotic the Crown Priest. For everyone else, though, I'll catch you all next time, and goodbye.